Hey guys, it's Brandon Andre, and I'm a fashion photographer here in Los Angeles. And today I'm doing an interview with Kristen, who is the head of Designer Camp 2016. And today I'm going to answer some questions that I know a lot of you may have about fashion photography, and I hope that this interview inspires you guys and pushes you guys out to maybe even try becoming a fashion photographer. So stay tuned, and I appreciate you guys for watching. So fashion photography is basically just being a photographer and you're taking pictures of models and clothes. Photography is important and crucial in this industry because every designer and everybody pretty much needs a photographer. And as a fashion photographer, you are taking pictures of designers' new collections or a campaign that they might have, and it's pretty pivotal to marketing basically. Like, everybody in this industry needs marketing. You know, everybody needs to push a new product or something that they're doing, and they come to us, the photographer, to capture those images. And being a photographer is basically taking pictures of a designer's new collection, a campaign, or you're telling stories for magazines, or you're building up model portfolios. For some people, they consider it their art, so it's just art basically. It's a creative way to express things through pictures. For me, the way that I got into fashion photography is actually interesting. I was always into filmmaking when I was younger, and I wanted to do filmmaking. However, when I was in high school, it was very hard to get people committed to making a movie, so I decided, okay, I'm just going to practice my cinematography and just play around with my camera. In school, I would just take pictures of landscapes and scenery, and eventually people started taking notice, and my friends started asking me to take their pictures. So from there, I started taking their pictures, and I realized, wow, there's a lot similar between fashion photography and filmmaking, because you have your model, you have the actor, you have the story, you have all of that stuff. So I decided, I was like, okay, well, I'll just pursue fashion photography because it's very similar and you can get things done quicker. I guess after I graduated high school, I started working with modeling agencies, and I wanted to see, well, what can I do? How can I approach this career the right way? And opportunities for me came easily. I was able to intern with a lot of photographers. I met a lot of stylists and hair makeup people when I was interning, and then from there I would work with modeling agencies who helped me understand what good photos were and how to develop my portfolio. And from there, I just started working more and more and more, and my work grew, and then I got to where I am now, so. It fluctuates and it depends on the kind of photographer you are. Like, not every photographer has the same kind of career. When you're working a lot, you're shooting for a lot of different companies, different clothing lines who are shooting campaigns or lookbooks, or you could be doing modeling portfolios, or you could be doing headshots. It just depends. The thing with a photographer is when you're starting out, you have to do a lot of things to make an income. Once you get to where you want to be, you'll be shooting for a lot of big companies. What you can expect a week to look like is you can either be testing, building up your portfolio with different models, doing editorial shoots to be submitting to magazines, and working with a whole team to create a really awesome story. You could be shooting headshots. You can also be shooting specs that are basically tests that companies can see if you can shoot for their next product. So it varies depending on how you are as a photographer and how you approach the industry. So for me, I like to shoot on location more than I do in studio, even though I'll shoot in studio sometimes. But the reason why I like to shoot on location is because I like to be known in the future as a photographer that is like National Geographic meets Vogue, that I'm fusing both natural landscapes with models, because that is what really, like, I love that. Like, it empowers me and it fuels me and it motivates me to shoot like that. And because I don't really see a lot of that out there, so I kind of want to be the first one to hone in on that. I'll often be on location somewhere in California. My favorite locations are, it varies, but I have to say Glamis Sand Dunes. It's amazing. It's like the first time that I've been there, it felt like Christmas, because I've always wanted to see like these mountains of sand dunes, and it's only about 3.5 hours away. So I would say that that's my favorite location. I could go there and still be impressed and still be amazed, just because you wouldn't expect that to be in California, and it doesn't feel like you're in California. The challenges of being a fashion photographer for everybody, I guess, would be making the money and having consistency, because pretty much with everything else, like, you meet a lot of people, you will eventually shoot for magazines and you'll get clients, but it's about keeping them happy. It's about making sure that they hire you for the next season. The challenge is just creating a name for yourself, and also not selling yourself short, because a lot of photographers will do things for free just so that they can get the job, or just because they need some money, but keeping your reputation to where people are going to respect you and hire you and know that you're worth the money that you're charging. It takes time and it takes patience, and it also takes sacrifice and compromise. Like, oh, I'm not going to do this $200 job because really you should be paying me $2,000 for it. And making sure that you have the right team around you, people who are knowledgeable and who have been around the industry for a long time. But just being perseverant and consistent in doing it is what will get you through it. But yeah, I mean, being consistent in work, obviously, I think for any freelancer is going to be difficult, but jobs have always come to me, so it's not been that difficult for me. But it depends on each person. Depending on how much effort you put or who you know, it is contingent on the outcome of whether you get work or not. The rewards and benefits of being a fashion photographer, I would have to say, are traveling and the people that you meet. You meet a lot of models from all over the world, and it's really cool because you get to like travel through them. Like, I've met models from Spain, from Japan, from Italy, from South America, all over the world, and it's crazy because you get to learn about who they are, see their impression from coming from these places to California, to LA and stuff. And it's gratifying for me because I love people, so I love that opportunity that I have to meet people. And also to travel. Like, I'm going to Iceland this month, and I'm going to be going to Paris and Barcelona and all over Europe, so it's going to be really cool just because I have the opportunity to take my job out there and get work and build my work and kill two birds with one stone, travel and work. And that's like the best thing that I have to say that comes with this job is that. And the money, it's not too bad. So my favorite project that I've worked on, or the biggest project that I've worked on, is when I was 19 years old. I was flown out by the Guatemalan government to shoot on the Mayan pyramids for a magazine called Runway. And it was in celebration of this phenomenon that people were celebrating, which is the end of the Mayan calendar in 2012. And it was cool because I was the first person to shoot on the Mayan pyramids, and I was 19 years old. And at 19, I never would have thought that I would have found myself in the middle of Central America, in the jungle, on pyramids that are thousands of years old, doing a photo shoot. And that, I could say, was amazing because the entire government paid for my entire trip and my expenses. So they put me in like 5-star hotels. They treated me like a celebrity at a press conference because what I was doing there was a big deal for them because they don't have fashion people come down there and do shoots often. So me doing that was a big deal for them, and they really appreciated it. And they also took me to like the best parts and the best spots in Guatemala, and it was really an amazing opportunity. Depending on what you want to become, because there's different aspects of being a fashion photographer. So if you want to be an editorial fashion photographer, a high fashion photographer like me, I want to shoot for, Calvin Klein, Versace, all the big high-end designers. That's who I want to shoot for. Why? Because there's prestige with that, and there's a lot of money with that, and because the campaigns are a lot more edgier and more creative. But let's say you want to do that. How you market yourself is, well, you shoot like them. So even like singing, like if you want to be the best, you have to sound like the best. So you have to really train your voice and train your ear to make sure that you sound like the people who are on top. And just like with photography, if you want to be the best and shoot for the best, you have to make sure that your work looks similar to who are the best and who are working with the top. My encouragement would be, well, if you want to be working with them, make sure that your work actually looks like something that they would hire for editorial. Does your shoots, do your pictures look like a Calvin Klein ad campaign or a Miu Miu ad campaign or a Prada ad campaign? If not, then you're never going to work with them, right? So it's about making sure that your work looks more like what you want to do. And if you want to be a commercial photographer, or you want to shoot for Pakistan, you want to shoot for Target, you want to shoot for Tilly's, then you want to make sure that your work looks like something that would be in Target, in Tilly's. And you have to know their demographics and understand, okay, well, who is this particular company appealing to? They're appealing to the masses, they're appealing to a lot of younger people, or just average people and stuff. So you want to make sure that that translates in your pictures. To market yourself nowadays, it's about Instagram and social media, and it's about putting your work out there and making sure that people know who you are, that you're working with a lot of models, so you're always working. That's probably like the best advice that I could give, is make sure as a photographer you're always doing something, because if you're not doing something, then it looks like to people, well, you're not working. You always have to be on top of the game. You always have to be doing stuff, even if it's just shooting with a model or actual work. But what I mean by actual work is paid work. You always want to make sure that you're doing something, and that way you'll always have content to post on social media. And to get new projects, you want to make sure that you're always putting your new work out there, getting in contact with those who you want to work with, and making sure that you nonstop share with them what you're up to, what you're doing, and if you're lucky to get an agent, because an agent also helps you connect with people that you want to work with as well. Right now I do have an agent. I'm signed with LA Models as a photographer with an agent at LA Models. My situation is kind of creative, it's interesting. I also have a meeting with Wilhelmina Artists in New York too. So I've gotten to the point right now in my career where I'm getting these meetings and stuff, which is amazing because that's a really difficult thing to accomplish. Once you get there, it's pretty awesome because their job is to get you the work that you've been building up for the last couple of years in your life. So the advice that I would give you guys is make sure this is your passion, because anything that you do out of your creativity, like there's a lot of ups and downs, there's a lot of struggles, but when you have that passion, like you'll overcome it, you'll find solutions, you'll find ways to make yourself stand out, you'll find ways to never give up and to continue onward pursuing it, because there are going to be people who may come to success faster than you are, and you can choose to either let that press you or discourage you, or figure out, you know what, okay, they did this, now how am I going to figure out how to get to where I want to be? Remember, you're your own person, and that's like the most important thing that I can show you or teach you guys, is that you being who you are, you have your own vision of how you view things. And why I say that is because myself, like I don't ever have to worry about someone else being in competition with me, because I have my own way of approaching a project, and I have my own way of photographing someone and putting together something that is incomparable to anybody else. As long as you focus on what you want to do and what your strengths are, and recognize what your strengths are and your weaknesses, and focus on those things, then you'll be able to stand out. And that's what's critical as a photographer, is to stand out and to make your work look amazing among a lot of photographers that are out there. And I feel confident because I feel like I've been able to do that, and that's a huge accomplishment in itself. So what you guys can do now, being your age, like I was 16 years old when I got a hold of a camera and I was learning how to actually use the camera. So my advice would be bug your parents for a camera and get that camera and learn how to use it. Because fashion photography is pretty easy once you know how to actually take a picture, and it gets more complicated once you have to understand composition with the styling, the hair, makeup, model, and everything. But once you actually know how to use it, like you're at a good start. So master the camera. Get a hold of a camera, start taking pictures of everything you see, either the places you go, the people you're friends with, and just learn how to use your camera. And from there, like you'll be able to figure out, okay, well, what kind of photos do I like to take? Do I like fashion? Do I like street photography? Do I like doing weddings? Do I like doing portraits? And you'll find out your niche when you do that. But just learn how to use a camera, and that's like the best thing that you can start with right now. So my recommendation to you guys is, if you really want to be a fashion photographer, make sure you guys look at the magazines, the fashion magazines like Vogue, Elle, all the independent magazines as well. Train your eye too to what looks good. Like you have to know what looks good by looking at what is good and what's published already. So my advice would be to like create a blog and save all these pictures that you like inspiration pictures. And there's a lot of blogs out there. I'm sure you guys know Tumblr and stuff. You guys can look at my Tumblr. You guys can go on my YouTube channel as well, because I offer a lot of advice for photographers approaching the industry and stuff. But the resources out there are unlimited, and you guys could be learning so much just on YouTube and by researching whatever the questions you have are. The more you invest in your knowledge, the better you'll be in the end, and that's the best advice that I can give to you. I guess the best advice too is a lot of times people in life restrict themselves from progressing in their career or in what they love because they have a lot of emotional issues from growing up and a lot of baggage. And I noticed that a lot of people, they don't get to push themselves as far as they should go because of all of these issues that they have growing up. So my advice too would be, whatever you're dealing with at home or friends or emotional issues, like come to terms with them, deal with them while you're young, face them, confront them while you're young, like deal with them or whatever, because the sooner you deal with those emotional issues, the more time you'll have to actually focus on what you want to do in life without having any baggage, without having any of that. And that's honestly, you guys, what I see that destroys dreams and destroys passions are those emotional issues that people have. Confront them, deal with them, and then learn how to cope with them and pursue your dream. And don't let whatever you're going through stop you from pursuing your dreams, because if you do, it will stop you and you won't get to where you want to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do want to say, you guys, this dream of mine to be a photographer has been crazy because I've gone through so many things to get to where I'm at, but it's been rewarding every step of the way. I grew so much as a person, getting to know so many different types of people, getting to talk to so many different types of people, listening, and just being challenged too, because there's a lot of people here who are gonna treat you a certain way, and it tests you, it tests your character as a person as to what you will do, what you'll stand for, and what you won't stand for and stuff. Be persistent in what you want to do, because really the reason why I got to where I'm at is because I annoyed a lot of people but a lot of people love that because they could tell that I was passionate and that I had ambition, and that's what people like to see. They like to help, especially when you're young, like help young people who are ambitious, and you'd be surprised like how far you get in life when you're like that. So hopefully that helps you guys out. You guys, I'm on social media. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Snapchat. I'm pretty much everywhere. If you guys have questions or even just want to know more about what I do or see what I do, follow my adventures. Follow me on Snapchat, follow me on Instagram. My links are here. Yeah. my links are here, or here are all my social media handles, so make sure you're following and keeping up to date. So when I get back from Europe, you guys, I hope to be doing hands-on workshops with you guys where I spend a weekend teaching you the ins and outs of being a fashion photographer. And you guys, it's going to be really, really cool because A, I love teaching, and I want to make sure you guys leave my workshops with confidence and being able to approach this industry and this particular career choice fearlessly. So look out for my workshop with Designer Camp LA, and hopefully I'll be so look out for my workshop with Designer Camp LA, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys soon. If not, then I'll see you guys on my social media, and I hope this video inspires you guys to go out and take some pictures.